Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to the Women's Transformation Show. I'm your host, Kim Wilborn of Women'sTransformation.com, coming to you live from the San Francisco Bay Area. Do you know that there is something more to life, but you just can't seem to tap into it on a consistent basis? My mission is to help you connect to your true self so that you can experience the magic of manifesting your unique higher purpose, discovering your personal superpowers, and expressing them more and more every day. Don't wait a minute longer to activate your superpowers and reinvent yourself this summer so you can get your life on track and finally feel the way you want to feel. Go to Women'sTransformation.com and register for a free 60-minute Reinvent Yourself strategy session to get started on your own reinvention. And I also appreciate you sharing the show with your friends on Twitter and Facebook. And I invite you to visit me on YouTube.com/Kim Wilborn, where you'll find videos to help you raise your vibration. Well, it's July 26, 2012, and today our guest is Catrice Jackson. Catrice Jackson is known around the world as the savvy, sassy, fearless empowerment speaker and fear-free living expert. Catrice is a master at helping people face and conquer their fears through her signature program, The Art of Fear-Free Living. This 7-step program transforms the lives of people from the inside out by helping them awaken their fearless genie within. Catrice is also the CEO of Catriceology Worldwide, a global speaking and consulting enterprise committed to helping people live and work fearlessly delicious. She's convinced that when people get out of their own way and quiet the inner critic, they can create a masterpiece called their fearless, authentic life. Welcome to the show, Catrice.
Well, thank you so much, Kimberly. It's my pleasure to be here with you today.
I'm dying to know, how did you discover your passion for empowering women?
Oh, what a wonderful question, and I absolutely love to talk about this. You know, it's kind of one of those things where you just know what's in your DNA, but there's this moment where it really comes to life, and you know for sure it's, you know, kind of like that aha moment that Oprah talks about quite often. But I had been in my early 30s, late 20s, really just working job after job and really just working jobs to make money and trying to get ahead and trying to pursue my dreams. And, you know, quite frankly, I didn't really even know specifically what those dreams were. But I had the opportunity in 1996 to be a AmeriCorps volunteer for a local domestic violence and sexual assault shelter. And my husband said to me, "Are you really going to work for a year with that kind of income?" And I said, you know, I know that this is going to be a struggle, but there's something really calling me to do this. So I said yes, and I signed on as a AmeriCorps volunteer, which really meant that I basically kind of worked for free. I got a stipend of about $300 a month to work 40 hours a week. And I tell you, that was the most liberating, rewarding, just truly, truly wonderful opportunity. I was able to, you know, get my hands right in there and see with my own eyes behind the scenes of domestic violence and to see how it was tearing apart women's lives and families and just grew very passionate about it. And it was in that moment that I really realized that my natural gifts, my purpose and my calling was to empower women, and not just to generically empower them, but to give them voice, to create space where they could set their souls free and liberate that voice and speak up and, you know, tell the world their story and share that message. And from that moment on, I knew that I was created to, and that I was very passionate about inspiring and empowering women.
Wow. Well, you said something that made me think of a question that I think is a common problem. What do you say to women who are so cut off from their own voice that they don't even remember what their dreams are? What do you say to them?
That's a wonderful question. You know, what I have seen happen in that line of work, as well as in my journey and all the work that I've done as a licensed mental health professional over the last 15 years, is that oftentimes we get caught up in the rat race. We get caught up in surviving and trying to make ends meet and hustling and bustling and checking off things on the to-do list. And one of the most amazing things that I've discovered is that we're all in this space of really worrying about what other people are doing, what other people are thinking, how will people perceive me, and we begin to live our lives on autopilot, really trying to satisfy someone else. And so the transformation that I've seen over the years is that when women really get in tune with their soul, with who they are, and they step back and they step away from the crowd and they quiet all that background noise, they can really then begin to hear that voice inside that has been telling them all along, this is the way, this is who you are, this is what you should do.
Well, then I want to jump right into what you've got to really offer us today, because I think it's great, even for women who are listening who aren't in business for themselves. I think they can apply this to their personal life in a valuable way. And what you're going to talk about today is be irresistible instead of being invisible, how to create your irresistible personal brand in 30 days. And I'd love to have you jump right in because I think it's a really juicy topic.
Absolutely, and it's definitely one I'm very excited about. You know, I guess I could say it's a blessing and a curse, and it's bittersweet that I have always known my voice and wasn't afraid to speak it and wasn't afraid to break away from the pack and stand up and be heard. And yes, you know, there were times when I was immature that got me in trouble. But as I matured and got older, I learned how to massage that and create my own way of really showing up in the world very authentically. And, you know, here's the truth. There are a lot of messages out there, and, you know, research says that the average person on any given day receives about 3,000 brand messages. And so we are constantly being bombarded with messages about a brand, and that could be the brand of a car, of a certain kind of food, an electronic product, but it also can be the brand of people, the brand of those of us walking around every day. And so we meet those people who instantly light us up. We meet those people who turn us off. We meet those people who say, oh, no, their energy is negative and I don't want to, you know, be bothered with them. Those are brand messages as well. And so I am very passionate about setting women's souls free so that they can liberate their voice. And here's the thing, Kimberly. Your brand message, the aura, the silent message that you exude when you show up in any given space is absolutely a message. You're sending out this signal that really tells the world who you are from the inside out. And so even if you're not in business, I think it's very important for women to be mindful of their message. And sometimes I call that your soul scent. So we've been in the space where that woman walks in the room and she captivates the room and she lights it up and heads turn and people lean towards her and they want to know who she is and she hasn't even said a word. That is her personal brand message. We've all met her. And we want to be around her. And so she is definitely not invisible. She's certainly irresistible. And so that's what I help women do, is to really strip away all the masks, to quiet the background noise, to get very in tune with the soul of who they are so they can broadcast that same kind of message because it's totally irresistible and it's absolutely magnetic. And when you're irresistible and when you're magnetic, you attract the things that you want to attract. You get the attention of the people that you want to get the attention of.
Well, what's the first step?
Well, you know what? The first step is some some work that I call getting naked. And when I say getting naked, what I mean by that is really stripping down and taking off all the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, all the doubts, all the fears, all the masks, all the worry, and just really getting that stuff out of the way to say, you know what? When I am alone, when I am all by myself, when no one's around, who am I? Who am I in my core? What are my values? What do I stand for? What do I believe in? What are the things that I refuse to compromise because they are so entrenched in my DNA that they are just a part of me and I can't release them? So that's the first step, is really getting down to figuring out who you are, what you stand for, and what you believe in, and what your values and your standards are. Because when we meet those magnetic, irresistible people, part of what we're sensing from them or experiencing when we're in their presence is a true reflection of their authentic self.
Mm. Well, the idea of getting naked is a big theme in your work, isn't it?
Yes, it is. You know, when I think about Catriceology Enterprises, it's really anchored in three fundamental pillars, and that is truth, authenticity, and freedom. And so everything that I do and everything that I share and how I work with my clients is all about helping them find their truth so that they can be authentic and be set free.
Mm. Well, one thing I wanted to let people know is something that you've got, theartoffearfreeliving.blogspot.com, where it's got your book, The Art of Fear-Free Living, Awaken Your Genius. One of the things you talk about there is how last year you decided to choose one word to live the rest of your life by, and I thought that was awesome. Can you share that with us?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. You know, at the top of 2011, I had previously decided I was going to stop making New Year's resolutions. But I wanted to do something more intentional, and so at the top of 2011, I really sat and thought about the one word that had been ringing true all through my life. And what I know is that I've always been a seeker of the truth. Again, you know, I talked about kind of being a little bit of a rebel, and so when I was younger and people would tell me something, I would say there's more to that. Or that's not what I believe. There's something about that. And so I've spent my life seeking the truth, but not really knowing at the time that that's what I was doing. And the word truth came so clear to me because there were a couple things in my life that were still a mystery. I didn't know the truth. And so I chose truth as the one word that from that day forth I was going to live my life by. I was going to seek it, discover it, speak it, live it, share it, and teach other women how to be and live in their truth. And I can tell you one thing, it's been the most liberating thing that I've ever done.
What changes have you seen in your life as a result?
Oh, my gosh. Well, I found the courage to be more courageous because it takes courage to find the truth and to accept it. I have been more fearless because when you seek the truth, you can't let your fears get in the way. I've been more authentic because I no longer own and digest other people's truth. If it doesn't resonate with me, I don't receive that in my spirit, and I continue to seek my own truth. You know, it's really helped in my relationships because sometimes the truth hurts, but it really does set us free after it pisses us off. And so by telling the truth and really being in truth, I feel more free. I don't have to be anyone. I don't have to fake. I don't have to put on a mask. I can just show up, and those who receive that, I receive them. And those who don't, then that's just not my cup of tea, and I'm okay with that. So it's been exciting. It's been interesting. It's been very enlightening, but it's been truly, truly empowering.
Well, it's funny. When you were talking before about the example of the woman walking into the room with that magnetic energy that just uplifts everyone and it just feels so good, it is because she's clear and just radiating her own truth, isn't it? No matter what that truth is, it's beautiful when she's in alignment with it. And even if it's different than our truth, it still feels good to be in that space.
You're exactly right. And what she's doing is she's walking in the truth of that she believes that she's confident, that she's worthy, that she has value, that she is a woman that you should pay attention to. And she's really owning her power. And that's her truth.
And does that describe your own personal brand? How would you describe your own personal brand message? I know we all have a really good idea from listening to you, but I'd like to hear you put it into words.
You know, when I think about my personal brand message, those same three words come to mind. You know, I am a woman who is living my truth. I'm being authentic, and I am free to be me. Free to be me is probably a big theme in the personal message. But also, when I think about Catriceology and Catrice Jackson, you know, I'm brave, I'm bold, I'm courageous, I'm sassy, I'm confident, and then there's times when I'm scared and I'm insecure and my faith is wavering. But for the most part, when I show up in a physical space, you know, my energy is high. And I'm excited about life, and I'm not afraid to speak my mind and blaze a new trail and challenge the status quo. And, you know, here's the truth, Kimberly. Those people get attention. The people who stand out from the crowd, the people who are totally real, raw, and authentic, you know, the person who walks in with the pink hair, the lady who wears the hot red lipstick, you know, those people get our attention, and there's something about them that's magnetic and exciting, and we want to know more about that. And we secretly wish, gosh, I wish I could put on that hot pink lipstick, or gosh, I wish I could really just say what's in my heart. And so we're drawn to that because there's something about it that we want, and that's what makes it irresistible.
Well, what's one way that you can give our listeners to begin stepping more into that truth, authenticity, and freedom, and get in closer touch with the authentic personal brand that they're really meant to have right away? What's one thing they can begin to do today?
Well, you know, wow, that's a loaded question. Let's see if I can put it in one nice little package. You know, here's a fundamental truth, that we all have two spaces that we can live in. We can live in either the space of fear or we can live in the space of love. And when we are living in the space of fear, we experience pain and struggle and doubt and worry and hesitation and procrastination. Why do we experience that? Because we're fearing something's going to happen. We're fearing that we're inadequate. We're fearing that we're not good enough. And so, you know, doubt, worry, and, you know, shame and guilt and all those things, they're just a manifestation of something that we are fearing. But on the flip side of that, when we experience joy and happiness and bliss and we take action and we're inspired, we're really living in a place of love. And so I would offer for all the listeners out there today that as you are being who you are in every moment, if you're experiencing the doubt, the fear, the shame, the struggle, the conflict, you are absolutely living in a place of fear. And if you experience those other things, then you're living from that love space. And so when we think about who we are and how we show up, there's a lot of fear around that. You know, we're ashamed, or we don't want to stand out, or we don't want to promote ourselves. We don't want to pat ourselves on the back. And we don't want to do that. Why? Because we're afraid that somebody's going to say something. But when we say, you know what, I'm good enough. My product's great. I love my life. Yes, I think I'm fabulous. And we promote ourselves and we say, hey, here I am, look at me. There's nothing wrong with that. That just shows that you are operating from a place of really loving who you are. And so the best thing I can share in terms of that is to watch what you're feeling. And based on what you're feeling, it will tell you that you are either in a space of love or a space of fear.
Oh, I love that. I love that. That's something that each one of us can really live by. And for the women entrepreneurs listening, tell us the changes that you've seen in their lives and their businesses as a result of really tapping into that irresistible personal brand that's inside waiting to come out.
Well, you know what? Here's what I believe is that in business there are only two choices: to be seen, loved, and heard by our ideal clients, or to be invisible. And when we are seen, loved, and heard by our ideal clients, we are in that loving space that I just talked about. But when we are afraid, we're invisible. We don't want to promote our product. We don't want to say, hey, I got this fabulous offering. We don't want to get out there and market ourselves, so we're living in that fear space. So I'm glad you asked me that question previously, because as a business owner and your personal brand, you have to be in that love space to be able to broadcast your message and tell the world about your product, your service, and how you are the only one who can solve the problems of your ideal clients. And you cannot do that from a fear space. So when I talk about the choices are, you can be irresistible or you can be invisible, there's really only two choices in business. If you want to be successful, if you want to have the clients you want, if you want to make the money that you want to make, if you want to serve people at the impact that you really want to serve them, you cannot do that from that fearful, invisible space. And so it is a personal job. It is a personal thing that must be done. I think a lot of business owners, in particular women, are hiding behind their logo. They're hiding behind their website. And it's really time for women to step into the power of having an irresistible personal brand in order to have the business success that they desire.
Wow, I never thought about that. That's a really interesting idea. They're hiding behind their logo. Tell me more about that. That's intriguing.
Well, I think there's this misconception out there that if you have a fancy website and you have this fabulous logo and you have the products and the programs and everything technically, digitally is in line. You have all this, but it is not that stuff that people buy. That woman that we talked about who walked in the room earlier, we buy from her. We buy from her before she even opens her mouth. She has walked in. She has commanded presence. She has said, I am irresistible. I got something that you need to know about, and I haven't even told you what it is yet. And then when she opens her mouth and she uses the rest of her personal brand strategy to draw you in, to compel you to learn more about this irresistible offer she has, we say, yes, 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 I want some. Because we now know who she is authentically in her core. We like her because she's magnetic, and being in her presence makes us feel good. And we trust her because she is the woman who is showing up real, raw, confident, powerful, authentic, and in her truth. We trust that. And I think clients out there are aggressively craving authenticity from us as business owners. They want the real us to show up.
I agree. I couldn't agree more. And you've got a special offer, and I want everybody to just go to your website right now because I love the way it looks. Go to CatriceOlogy, Catriceology.com, and just look at this website. I just love the look of this. It's cupcakes and pink and it's just everything I love, so it's perfect for me. But on the website, you talk about creating your irresistible personal brand, mouth-watering messages, secret sauce, and your signature talk. Be irresistible and make them crave more. So tell us about your offer.
Absolutely. Well, if you are listening in and you want to, make that transition from being invisible personally and professionally, I would love to offer you a 30-minute sweet spot personal branding session. So I would love for you to bring your number one challenge in creating your irresistible personal brand to this session for a 30-minute session where we talk about how you personally can become more irresistible. So I'm offering that complimentary session. Again, you can go to www.catriceology.com and click on the Sweet Spot Session tab. And, put your information in there and give me a call and bring that number one challenge that you're having to the table. And let's figure out how we can create something irresistible for you. And then if that resonates with you, if you are really, really wanting to stop hiding behind your business logo and really become that woman that I talked about earlier in the call, I'm also offering for a limited time what I'm calling, create your irresistible personal brand in 30 days. And I'm only offering this to 10 women. I have 5 seats left. The offer does end on July 30th. But I will take you through my 4-week transformation program where at the end of 30 days you will absolutely have a irresistible personal brand. So by the end of 4 weeks, you'll become that woman who walks in the room and commands presence and attention and captivates others in just 30 days. So I'd love to go on that journey with you and help you really reveal that true, authentic, irresistible personal brand.
Yeah, I want to encourage everyone to go to the website and check it out, and just check out this website because it feels good just looking at it. And then when you get a little deeper and see the wonderful things that Catrice is offering, it feels even better. And Catrice, I'd like to know, can you let us know some of the results that your clients have had in the past? So what does it look like when they go from hiding behind their logo to really tapping into that irresistible personal brand?
Absolutely. Well, the 5 ladies that I'm working with right now in this program are experiencing, major breakthroughs, ridiculous ahas, and they're really just, stepping it up and taking inspired action. So one woman in particular said, Catrice, I really want to master, doing video. And she said that's so important to me. So what we decided to do is that after every weekly session, she would do a video expression where she would tell me what she learned, how she's been transformed, and how she's going to take that information and use it going forward. And she sent me a video the next day after our session, and she was lit up. I could see the joy. I could feel the joy. And she was way better on video than she gave herself credit. And so just the courage that she mustered up to be able to send me that video and to shine in it was something that she had never done before. She actually calls her personal brand wishy-washy. And then after just one session, she's saying, wow, I believe for once that I really can do this. And so she didn't even know what her personal brand was. And now she's inspired to co-create that with me. Another lady was about to give up on her business. And because she didn't know her personal brand, therefore her business brand was not in alignment, and she wasn't attracting clients. And so just in one session with her, we've used a particular exercise called taking opposite action. She's totally on fire. She used to sit in her monkey mind or her pity pot for a whole day. And now she's,
I know there's a lot of people out there relating to that.
She'd get that thought in her head and she'd stew in it all day. And just in the past week, she's now only staying there for, minutes. And then she's using opposite action and she's hopping right out of it. And she's doing the work, and I can even tell on her Facebook thread that there's a different passion and a fire going on inside of her. So it's a confidence booster. It's oh, yes, I can. It's I'm not giving up on my dream. It's I can do this, and I'm ready.
And there's that freedom that you talked about before.
And here's the most beautiful thing. The weight is being lifted, that they don't have to do it like everybody else. They don't have to be like everybody else. They don't have to follow the templates and the scripts and all the things that everybody says you have to do. I'm showing them that they can do it their own way and really, really, truly be satisfied with how they show up.
Oh, I love that. So I want to thank you so much, Catrice, for being with us today, and I want to encourage everyone to head on over right away to CatriceEOLOGY.com. Check out this website and the awesome things that Catrice has to offer. And I think you're going to notice right away a difference in how you feel. And those three things that she lives by, the truth, authenticity, and freedom, will be kind of re-sparked inside you as you look through this website. And so I hope you'll take advantage of what Catrice has to offer and get your own complimentary session and get started being the you that you're really meant to be. So I want to thank you so much, Catrice, for being with us here today.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure. And I know that everyone listening will choose to be irresistible instead of invisible.
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much. And I want to say to my listeners, thank you for listening. As always, I'll be thinking of you this week and wishing you love and abundance.